Most people think the credit system is a game of luck. They think if they just pay their bills, eventually their score will rise. They are wrong. The American credit system is not a game of luck, it is a game of math. And if you are currently stuck in the 600s or low 700s, you are not failing because you are irresponsible. You are failing because you are playing by the rules that the banks tell you, rather than the rules that the algorithms actually use. Today, we are going to strip away the myths and look at the raw mechanics of how to optimize your credit profile like a pro. This is not about getting into debt. This is about building a financial reputation that makes banks compete for your business. Let's start with the most dangerous misconception in personal finance, the idea that carrying a small balance helps your score. You have probably heard someone say you need to keep a balance on your card to show the bank you're a responsible borrower. That is a lie. Keeping a balance does nothing but cost you interest. It does not improve your score. It does not help you get a loan. All it does is tell the bank that you are willing to pay them for the privilege of using your own money. The algorithm that calculates your FICO score looks at your utilization ratio. It does not care if you paid interest. It only cares about the ratio of your current balance to your total available limit. The most powerful lever you can pull right now is your credit utilization ratio. This represents 30% of your total score. Think of it like a glass of water. Your credit limit is the size of the glass, and your balance is how much water is inside. If you fill that glass to the brim every single month, you look desperate to the algorithm. You look like someone who is living at the edge of their means. To get to an 800 score, you need to keep that glass less than 10% full. If you have a $5,000 limit, your statement should never show a balance higher than $500. If you are currently above that, pay it down immediately. If you cannot pay it down because you don't have the cash, then stop using the credit card entirely and pivot to cash or debit until the balance drops. This is the fastest way to trigger a score increase because credit card issuers report your balance once a month. The moment they report a lower balance, the algorithm recalculates and your score shifts. But what if your limits are just too low? What if you have $500 in expenses but your limit is only $600? Then your utilization is 83% and your score is going to get crushed even if you pay it off in full every month. This is where you use the credit limit increase request. Most people are terrified to call their bank. They think it's a negotiation. It is not. It is an administrative request. Call your issuer, ask them for an increase. If they ask why, give them a simple professional reason. Tell them you're looking to improve your overall credit health and want to maintain a better utilization ratio. Many modern issuers will process this as a soft inquiry, which means your score doesn't drop. Even if it's a hard inquiry, the long-term benefit of a higher limit far outweighs the temporary 3 to 5 point dip. Once your limit is higher, your utilization percentage drops instantly without you having to spend a single extra cent. Now let's talk about the secret weapon that most people ignore, the age of your accounts. 15% of your score is determined by how long you've been in the game. This is why you should never, ever close your oldest credit card. Even if you hate the card, even if it has no rewards, keep it open. If it has an annual fee, call the bank and ask to downgrade it to a no-fee version. When you close an old account, you're effectively erasing years of credit history. You are making yourself look younger and less experienced to the lenders. You want the bank to see a decade-long history of you paying your bills. That history is the evidence they use to determine if you are a risk. There's another layer to this that most people get wrong. They get excited, they open 3 new cards in 1 month to get the sign-up bonuses, and they wonder why their score plummeted. Each time you apply, you trigger a hard inquiry. These stay on your report for 2 years. If you have 5 hard inquiries in 6 months, you look like someone who is in a financial panic. You look like someone who is desperate for cash. Banks don't want to lend to people who are desperate. They want to lend to people who have plenty of money and don't actually need the loan. That's the irony of the credit system. You have to prove you don't need the money to get the best terms. Space out your applications. If you're planning on applying for a major loan like a mortgage, stop applying for anything else at least 6 months prior. Let's discuss the concept of credit mix. This is 10% of your score. It's the boring part, but it matters. The algorithm wants to see that you can handle more than just a credit card. It wants to see that you can handle a car loan, a student loan, or a mortgage. Now, I'm not telling you to go take out a loan you don't need just to check a box, but if you already have a mix of debt, it's a sign of stability. If you only have credit cards, your score will eventually hit a ceiling. It's not a deal breaker, but it is a factor that separates a good score from a perfect one. If you're just starting out, or if you've made mistakes in the past, don't look for shortcuts that promise to fix your credit overnight. There are no magic buttons. There's only time and consistency. If you have zero credit, go to a credit union and open a secured card. You put down a deposit, let's say $500, and that becomes your limit. You treat it exactly like a real credit card. You buy a tank of gas, you pay it off at the end of the month, and you do that for 6 months. By the end of that period, you will have a credit score. It's a slow start, but it's a guaranteed start. There's also the matter of errors. People assume the credit bureaus are perfect. They are not. They are massive automated data processors that make mistakes every single day. They might report that you missed a payment when you actually paid it on time. They might report that you owe money to an account that was never yours. You need to check your reports from all 3 major bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, at least once a year. You can do this for free. If you find something that is wrong, you have the legal right to dispute it. When you file a dispute, the bureau is required to investigate. If they can't verify the negative mark, they must remove it. A single inaccurate late payment can drop your score by 50 points. Removing it is the closest thing to a magic button in the world of credit. Think about the psychology of the lender. When you walk into a bank to get a loan, you are not just a customer, you are a risk profile. They are looking at your history, your habits, and your consistency. They want to see that you have a pattern of behavior. They want to see that you have a 5-year history of paying your bills on the same day every single month. They want to see that you have access to large amounts of credit, but you choose not to use it. That's the definition of a high net worth individual's mindset. You are building a reputation. You are showing them that you are the type of person who is in control of their financial life. Understand that credit score is not a measure of your wealth. You can have $1 million in the bank and a terrible credit score if you forget to pay your bills. You can have a middle-class income and an 800+ score if you're disciplined. It's about organization. Automate everything. Set your bills to pay in full automatically. Use a calendar to track when your statements close and when your bills are due. Don't rely on your memory. If you miss one bill, it will haunt your report for 7 years. It's not worth the risk. There's a concept in finance called velocity of money. In the context of credit, it refers to how quickly you clear your obligations. By paying your balances off every week rather than once a month, you are keeping your utilization low across the entire cycle, not just at the end. This is a pro-level move. It prevents that dreaded statement date from catching you with a high balance. If you're a high spender, this is your best friend. You can put thousands of dollars in expenses on your cards for the rewards, pay them off every Friday, and your credit report will show almost zero utilization because the balance is cleared before the bank reports to the bureau. Look at your accounts again. Look at the terms. Are you paying interest? If you are, you've already lost the game. Credit cards are tools for rewards and building history. They are not tools for financing your lifestyle. If you can't afford to buy it with cash, you can't afford to buy it with credit. The interest rates are designed to keep you in a cycle of debt. If you're in that cycle, your priority is not building your credit score. It's destroying your debt. Once the debt is gone, the score will take care of itself. As you progress, you'll reach a point where you don't have to worry about your score anymore. You'll reach a point where you can get approved for any loan you want at the lowest possible interest rate. That's the ultimate goal. That's the freedom that a high credit score provides. It's the ability to leverage the bank's money to grow your own assets. It's the ability to walk into any financial institution in the country and be treated like a preferred client. So, here's your roadmap. Audit your credit reports and dispute the errors. Pay down your balances below 10% utilization. Call your issuers and get your limits raised. Keep your oldest accounts active even if you never use them. Stop opening new accounts unless you have a strategic reason to do so. And above all, pay every single bill on time every single month without fail. It's not complex, it's not mysterious, it's just math executed with total discipline. If you do these things, your score will climb and you will unlock the financial power that most people only dream of. The system is designed to keep you confused, but now you know exactly how it works. Now, go execute.